Greetings, fellow noobs, and welcome to another NuubCast, or another ProCast, however you want to look at it. We are doing another 1v1 pro matchup between Hasu of Team mouz and here as the yellow Protoss on Shakura's Plateau, spawning in the cross position. Diagonal is RAZERInso. Inso has been making waves on the tournament scene, taking out players in recent Team Liquid Opens and knocking out high players. I think he knocked out somebody big in the recent Assembly tournament. I could be wrong about that. Inso on Team Razor. Now, I'm interested in how Team Razor actually works because I know that they've recently added a bunch of players from other teams like Slayer's Boxer, who's obviously on Team Slayers. And I think Razor might be kind of like an umbrella team sponsoring several different teams. I could be wrong about that. I don't exactly know how it works out. If you happen to know how it works out, feel free to let me know. You may be wondering why it is that I've been doing so many procasts recently. No reason in particular other than I want to get better at casting, and the best way to do that, I know, is to cast pro games. And I'm going to be taking a break, I think, from StarCraft and from casting. Maybe about a week, maybe less. But I think I'm just getting a little burnt, I think, and I'm just not having fun playing on the ladder right now, even when I win. So I don't know, but I am going to be putting up a bunch of these games and perhaps taking a break for a little while. And I wanted to leave you with a bunch of good casts and perhaps enough to sate you while I'm away for a couple days. You know, nothing wrong in particular as we see these two Protosses go head to head. Fairly identical builds, although Razor is getting out that early Zealot, while it looks like mouzHasu is going to be waiting for the Cybercore to get down and to pump out that first Stalker instead. Here it comes, and which is not a bad play, because even if Inso were to attack with this first Zealot, and he is just going to get out, chase down that probe, obviously the Stalker can kite the Zealot to no end, and had he gone for the Stalker instead, you know, probes move faster than Zealots, so there you have it. Second gate going down for both guys. Actually, looks like Hasu is getting 3 gates and chronoing out his gateway. So yeah, and here is Inso's first Stalker out as well. Going to be doing a little scouting on his base, make sure there's no funny business happening. Hasu keeping the tower on both sides, and it looks like Inso is going to be attempting to do the same thing, bringing out his probe to do a little bit more scouting. Not sure, I don't think, yeah, both players have scouted each other, so they know where each other are. And both players feeling around the base, trying to make sure there's nothing proxy, no funny business happening, that it is going to be somewhat straight up. Third gate down, and a Twilight Council for Inso. Perhaps going to see some fast legs or blink. 3 gates and a Twilight Council also for Hasu. Very interesting. 3 gate into Twilight Council, and I'm guessing because there's so many Stalkers on the field, it is going to be blink. There it is for both players. 3 gate blink Stalkers. Are they going to expand as well? That's the next question. Most of the time you see these builds go into an expansion, Hasu placing a pylon for reinforcement's sake. And here's Inso's pylon. Hazu's not close enough to see that. But we do have several stalkers out for both players. Let's check on the units. 9 stalkers for Inso, 5 for Hasu, and it looks like Inso's moving out. And it looks like Hasu's getting his robo facility up to make some immortals, presumably. Obviously a very good choice to go up against the stalkers. But there's so many right now, it looks like, and just blinking his way across the field, not a bad idea. Nice blink by Hasu to get that one stalker out of the way, going to keep it from getting sniped. Now both players have blink, both players have stalkers. Inso has more stalkers, and he does have a pylon just getting placed right here for backup. Oh man, what do we got here? We've got 10 to 12, and I'm guessing, no, we have an observer and not an immortal, and not enough money for an immortal until right about now. Is it coming? No immortal as of yet. It looks like he's holding off judgment on getting that immortal as Inso pulls back, turns right around and comes back to the base. 3 more stalkers. Still no immortal for Hasu. Curious what he's going to do here. Observer out. Positionally, there's going to be a blink up. There is a blink up. Passes by the probes, but the probes are going to be a factor in this matchup. I'm not sure I like the surround by Inso, and he is going to be forced to pull back. Still no immortals out. I guess he's just not going to do any kind of immortal push, but Hasu now clearly with the advantage in stalkers, trying to chase down some of Inso's units here, but he is quickly returning to his own home pylon and now going to take down Inso's forward pylon. Gets that out of there, no problem at all. 4th gate down for Hasu. Inso making his robo facility. Wondering if we're going to see what the next step is going to be for these players. This is always the big thing about PvP, is what do you do next? It's very difficult to, unless you're constantly scouting, and which is what Hasu is doing. He's gonna have an observer right in Inso's base the whole time, and Inso's going to need to make an observer immediately, and that is exactly what he does. But now Inso knows everything that's happening. Hasu knows everything that's happening in Inso's base, but Inso has no information yet. There is the 4th gate down for Hasu. Curious if we're going to see any immortal play at all from either of these players. I'm actually a little surprised that there hasn't been any, but what can I say? I am not a pro Protoss player. Nexus finally down for Hasu. We do have an expansion, taking advantage of the advantage. Way to go. We look at the units, very even matchup. 18 for Inso, 17 stalkers for Hasu. Harvester count very close, but again, Hasu's expansion obviously going to play a huge part in his success. And now with this observer popping out, Inso definitely saw that and was waiting for his observer to pop so that he could pop his opponent's observer. No new buildings being produced, just more stalkers, and Hasu waiting for his nexus to complete. The question is, will Inso opt for an expansion as well, or is he just going to try and move out and end this before before his opponent can get his expansion up. Now both players with fourth gateway. Zealot charge going down for Hasu. Interesting play, as there have not been any zealots on the field yet. And Inso moving out again with the stalkers and a probe to make a forward pylon into Inso's base. But now the zealots are out, and he is going to have a distinct advantage if those zealots are able to tank the damage. We are 20 game clicks away from the charge being finished, and if that is able to get finished, it's going to be a big advantage for Hasu. Again, both players on 4 gates with Twilight Councils. Not a whole lot being made by either player at this point. Probes continue to be made by Hasu to further feed his expansion, and because of that, he is going to have an advantage. We are going to see likely the blink back. The blink is backwards to try and pick off those zealots. Let's take a look at the unit tab. 19, almost 30 stalkers to 20 for Hasu and 12 zealots. And now it looks like Inso wants some zealots in the field as well, just to kind of tank some damage. Inso trying to push up into Hasu's base with these zealots, but they are quickly going to be erased. And now Hasu bringing out his probes, but it looks like Inso is going to back off. And because I'm guessing that because Hasu has not expanded here, but here instead, Inso is just assuming that he's working on one base, and that is a deadly assumption, because Hasu is going to have, and already does have, a huge lead both in harvesters, which I'm amazed that Inso has only 20 probes. That is amazing. It seems kind of all-in-ish to me. Hasu has 34 now, and almost doubling Inso's production. And unless Inso does something big here to get back into this game, he is not going to be able to withstand what is happening here, coming across the middle of the field right now in all of these units from Hasu, sorry. One pylon down, that is going to supply block, psi block, Inso, and this is going to have to be it. This is going to be the engagement. Couple sentries in the field. Want to get some Guardian Shield up. Not really, oh, look at that. Blinking around in counterclockwise fashion. Zealots are going to be the difference here between both players blinking at the same time. That was pretty brilliant. And using the high ground pylon that he had inserted before back here, Hasu able to force a win there with the extra zealot warp in, and now Inso in big trouble. Lots of units here coming in from Hasu. Not going to be able to withstand it. It's going to be way too much for Inso to handle. And I can't see him getting much further in this game. Gonna have to be GG. Just waiting for it at this point. Nice blink out of the way, giving the Zealots the lead. Trying to get the surround, trying to kite a little bit. Very nice blink by Inso, but mouz does him one better, blinking again so that the Zealots have free reign to kill the Stalkers, and that is GG. And a well played by Inso. I still don't know if he did know about the expansion. And so that is that. Game 1 goes to mouzHasu. This is a set of 3. We'll have the next games coming right up.